but they would. But during the match, Seth Rollins and Big E would come out and attack them both. So Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, I guess they're a team now. They're working very well together, and this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins as a team of like a kind of... I could see them winning the tag team titles off RK Bro and going on to WrestleMania as kind of a Triple H and Stone Cold kind of thing. You know, Triple H and Stone Cold were a great tag team because they were great enemies. And I see that as Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. So it was announced that later tonight it will be Big E and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. After this, we got the final chapter, as it was called, between Bianca Belair and Doudrop. They had a great match, you know, but it felt like it was just everything had been done between them. A 3-match, you know. These two women are very talented. I'll never say that they aren't talented. But a 3-match thing between them felt a little too much. So, Doudrop and Bianca Belair have a good match, but a little predictable. Bianca Belair finally hits the KOD, pins Doudrop, and I guess we are done with this feud. Bianca Belair and Doudrop can move on to other things. After this, we got Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. Finn Balor would pick up the win over Austin Theory as Austin Theory got a little too overzealous, went to take a selfie, and it screwed him in the end. Finn Balor would pick up the win, and Austin Theory would get his revenge later on the night. I'll get to that later. After this, AJ Styles and Omos made an appearance on Miz TV. Miz TV's guest would be AJ Styles and Omos. And they would, basically Miz would stir the pot between them, saying Omos thinks you're holding him back. Omos is a giant. He doesn't want to be the next Andre the Giant. He wants to be the first Omos. And that, I love that line. Because every legend I think of, they weren't trying to be the next. Like, Seth Rollins wasn't trying to be the next Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels. He was trying to be the first Seth Rollins. I know that's a big comparison, but that's the wrestlers I've always thought of him as. Like, Dolph Ziggler as Shawn Michaels as well. He wasn't trying to be next Shawn Michaels. He was trying to be the first Dolph Ziggler. And, I mean, Stone Cold, he wasn't trying to be anyone else. He was just trying to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. He wasn't trying... They were trying to pitch him as the next $1 million man, but he wasn't trying to be the next $1 million man. He was trying to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. So... Omos as just the first Omos to me is something great. I love that line. That is something amazing. But don't get me wrong, to be compared to Andre the Giant, bravo. That's a comparison that not many people get. So, AJ Styles didn't believe The Miz and didn't want to hear and wanted to hear from Omos himself. But before Omos could speak, the Mysterios came out for their scheduled match against AJ Styles and Omos. It was an okay match. The Mysterios would defeat AJ Styles basically single-handedly because Omos refused to tag himself into the match. Omos would not tag himself in. AJ Styles gets rolled up. Styles asks him, okay, I guess we're done. Fine, I don't need you. I'll go be a great single star. Omos then slapped AJ Styles, threw him around the ring. AJ Styles would go to hit the phenomenal forearm, but would then get a fireman's carry and dropped 8 feet to the mat. I guess that's Omos' finisher. And then Omos would get on the mic and deliver a horrible line saying, next time I see you, it's going to be in a match against me. I was so looking forward to Omos, and this segment hurt him severely. Because it showed his trouble in the ring, and it showed that he has trouble on the mic. He needs a lot more polishing before he can move on to anything else. After this, we got Raw Tag Team Champion Orton, who asked Riddle to stay backstage. He asked Riddle not to come out to ringside versus Chad Gable. This would be a nice match. The only problem would be it would be 3 minutes. It should have been way longer. These two actually have good chemistry. I was very shocked by that. I was very shocked by the chemistry AJ Styles and Chad Gable would have. Again, very good match, and Randy Orton would pick up the win after hitting the RKO on Gable. He would then go to hit the RKO on Otis 3 times, and Otis would push him off. And Otis would yell, I think the funniest line I think I've ever heard from Otis, he would say, "No neck, no RKO." Because I guess Otis is accepting, hey, I'm a big fat guy, so that means he can't lock it in on me. I laughed my ass off at that. That was fucking hilarious to me. And then after this, we got another 24/7 championship segment where Tamina tried to pin Dana Brooke. It would lead to a big brawl in a actual Christmas tree celebration, and it was not meant to be. Dana Brooke would escape with Reggie once again. I guess they're really pushing that Reggie and Dana Brooke are going to be a couple on camera until he betrays her and goes for the 24/7 championship. After this, we got Dolph Ziggler defeating United States champion Damien. This was so smart of WWE. At the same time, it was kind of weird. Dolph Ziggler would win this match. It would be for a number 1 contendership for the United States Championship. I hate that they're still doing this, but it would be Big Bob would pull Damian Priest out from the cover and would actually go to attack Damian Priest. Damian Priest would then attack Big Bobby Roode, and he would actually cause a countout. So Dolph Ziggler would win by countout, and you got to see Damian Priest get very pissed, give the angry eyes, and he would go to attack Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler would hit a super kick, and Damian Priest would kind of shrug it off, and then we would get Damian Priest hitting the Reckoning on Robert Roode. I really think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember Damian Priest ever doing the neck slice for the Reckoning. So maybe, just maybe, we're getting Undertaker. How cool would that be? Maybe I'm wrong. Damian Priest versus The Undertaker. Damian Priest is undefeated at WrestleMania. He's only had 1 match, but he's never lost. How cool would that be if The Undertaker comes back, sets up a match with Damian Priest wins, and goes on to have his own undefeated streak at WrestleMania? That would be something I would love to see. Love to see. Because that's the way I picture it. I always pictured it as The Undertaker setting someone up for their own undefeated streak at WrestleMania. And then we got a backstage segment where Finn Balor was talking about his win over Austin Theory. Austin Theory would then come out of nowhere, attack Finn Balor. He would also hit the interviewer very, very hard as well. That would be very, very funny. Because no one's like, oh my god, the interviewer. No, they're all like, oh my god, Finn Balor. That poor interviewer got the shit kicked out of him. Like, he basically got sent to the stratosphere like Adam Cole after getting hit by Keith Lee. So, I thought that was hilarious. He would then go to see Mr. McMahon, and Mr. McMahon announced they will have a rematch next week of Finn Balor versus Austin Theory. And Mr. McMahon would make a joke and say, I love to fire people right before the holidays and start laughing like Santa Claus. That was very funny to me, of Mr. McMahon actually going, ho, ho, ho. I thought that was hilarious. I love that Mr. McMahon is back on WWE TV. It's where he belongs. After this, we got the return of the Cutting Edge with the Rated R Superstar Edge. If people don't know why I say it like that, go Google announcements for Rated R Superstar. You will understand in a heartbeat. Edge would have a special guest, Maurice, would come on. Maurice would say she doesn't know how to trust the Miz after this, and Edge would basically see it from a mile away. A blind man in New York saw this coming, and they're in Milwaukee. Just saying. A blind man in New York would see this coming. Maurice would try to distract Edge. The Miz would attack Edge from behind. Edge would fight off The Miz. Maurice would hit Edge with the purse, and Edge would get the skull-crushing finale. We're setting up to, I guess, either Elimination Chamber or Fastlane, Edge versus The Miz with... It's going to be a mixed tag team match of Edge, Maurice, Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Maurice and Miz. That's what it's going to be. I don't think they'll do it for WrestleMania because I think they want to do AJ Styles and Edge at WrestleMania. If not this WrestleMania, then next. But they are definitely doing AJ Styles and Edge at a WrestleMania very soon. Before either one of them can call it a career, I guarantee that match is happening. And it's a match I would love to see. So next we got Rhea Ripley versus Queen Zelina Vega, with actually Nikki Ash and Carmella would be banned from ringside, so that way there'd be no distractions, and Rhea Ripley would pick up the win over Zelina Vega. And so I guess they're using this as a question of, is Rhea Ripley better off without Nikki Ash? That is the question, and I can see him breaking up this team very soon. After this, we got Liv cutting a promo on Becky Lynch. If you haven't seen the video yet, go see it. It is Liv Morgan actually showed up at Becky Lynch's gym and attacked someone who looked just like Becky Lynch. It was very fun to see. It was a great video, great vignette. WWE has nailed it with that one. It has gotten over millions of views on YouTube, and I believe 1.5 million reviews on Instagram so far, and it will definitely pass 2 million in, I would say, about an hour probably on Instagram. If not, it's already past it. Liv Morgan would say at day one she's going to win, and Becky Lynch would come out and would basically try to cut a promo on her, saying she needs a kendo stick to defend herself, and Liv Morgan said she didn't bring the kendo stick for Liv, she brought it for Becky Lynch. She would then throw the kendo stick off to Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch would then would then say, "Don't insult me," and would be pissed off. She says, "You're lucky I have a private plane to catch." Becky Lynch is in full heel mode, and I love it. She's actually starting to get some heat. The crowd is turning against her. If she beats Liv at day one, that's it. She is the ultimate women's heel now. And it's perfect for it. It's the perfect role for her now. After this, we got the tag team champions Bobby Lashley and Big E versus Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. This match would actually get fucked up. It was supposed to be another 5 minutes added to the end of this match, but the ref fucked up the count on Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley. Kevin Owens would kick out of a spear, but the ref counted anyway. So they would pull out Bobby Lashley. They would attack Big E. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens would attack Big E with the stairs and would then attack Bobby Lashley. Kevin Owens would hold him down. Seth Rollins would go for his stomps, then say no, he wasn't going to do it, and Kevin Owens would be like, "Come on, do it, do it!" And Seth Rollins would get a running start, hit the stomp. Bobby Lashley is done, and you are now wondering about him for day one. It's going to be a great match, and I'm excited for day one. This Raw got me excited for day one. Very good way to end Raw, even though it was a fucked up ending. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens were able to fix it. So, good job by Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for New Year's Revolution 2006, the historical show from Albany, New York. It is very historic for one major reason, and we will get to that at the end of this review. So, the main show kicked off with Ric Flair versus Edge for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a very short match, in my opinion. This match could have gone 10 to 15 minutes, but, you know, Ric Flair, it was kind of his last big run with the Intercontinental Championship, and Ric Flair would win the match by disqualification after Edge would hit Ric Flair with the briefcase, his Money in the Bank briefcase. Edge is Mr. Money in the Bank at this time.